Sometimes we go into things with the very best of intentions, and yet they don't work out in our favor. Today, we are talking about what to do when your client needs to cancel their wedding. Hello, my friends, and welcome back. My name is Andrea Eppolito, and we are together here celebrating life, luxury, and above all else, love. So if you are a lover of all things weddings, lifestyle, beauty, travel, all of the things that make life beautiful, congratulations and welcome. You are in the right place. I'm thrilled to have you. Please go ahead and hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications, and don't miss a thing because we talk quite a bit here on this channel. Now, when you start planning a wedding, whether you're a wedding pro or a couple, but today specifically, I am going to talk to the wedding pros out there, the wedding planners. When you are invited into somebody's life and you are chosen to take them through the process of planning a wedding, really, you so badly want to get them down the aisle, and you are just as invested in a very real way as they are. And so what happens when, for whatever reason it is, your couple decides to cancel their wedding? So the first thing I'm going to do is say you need to sit down with your clients and make sure they are absolutely 100% sure that they do want to cancel this wedding. Now, it's one thing if the couple is breaking up, because if there's a breakup or if they are not in a good place emotionally, save us all the heartache, cancel the wedding. But sometimes we have situations where couples are saying, we have a health situation, we have a job situation, somebody's moving. We've had people say like, I'm newly pregnant, I don't know if this is the best time to walk down, I don't know if this is how I want to walk down the aisle. You need to have a conversation and make sure that your client, if it's for any reason other than a breakup, that they understand what they're canceling, why, and how. You got to just know, are you sure you really want to do this? My belief, if somebody has gotten to the place where they are saying, we think we need to cancel, then the reality is they do need to cancel. They're struggling to say that out loud. And so it is your job now not to get them down the aisle, but to shepherd them through the process of splitting this all up and making sure that you separate it in a way that feels it's going to be emotional, but that you're doing the right thing by them in a business sense. So once we say, yes, the wedding is going to be canceled, the second thing you want to do is pull all of the contracts that have been signed. And you want to take the client through in each and every one of them, including yours. Because you as the planner have time, effort, and energy invested in this, there are likely bills that still need to be paid, invoices that still need to be sent, refunds that are probably not going to be given, and or things that you may be able to save them from. And so you want to sit down and say, wedding planning, this is where we are. These are the terms. This is the cancellation. Make sure they understand. Expect your couples to say or to ask how they can get out of things. This is really difficult, and what you need to say to them is, right now, we are simply going to stick with the letter of the law. We are going to stay in black and white. This is the reason that the contract exists. It's to expand and to give us the blueprint in advance so that in the emotional time, we have a guide. And that's what the contract is for all vendors. It's the guide that is going to take you through the process. So go through your guide. Go through the guidelines set by the venue. Go through the guidelines set by the photographer, the florist, the video team, the rentals. There will be places as a wedding planner where you may be able to save your clients money, whether it is in a refund, which I don't typically expect anyone to give, or if it is in a future payment that maybe doesn't need to be made. Perhaps they can take money that they've given and apply it to something else in the future. You know your client, you know your vendors, you know what you can and cannot do. But in this particular meeting, your job is just to explain the letter of the law and what is going to contractually happen. After you've gone through that with your client, you do need to write each vendor individually. I personally do not necessarily, I don't hate the idea of a group email, especially if this is a time-sensitive cancellation where you take everybody that's involved and you do an email and you say, regretfully, I need to inform you that as of this day and this time, the following couple has decided to cancel their wedding. The couple and I will be in touch with each of you directly in order to close out our agreement possibly. That I've done because that in writing puts everybody on notice. Some vendors are going to say, I need an email directly from the couple. Some people are going to take my email for it. But as the wedding planner, you want to write to everybody and you want to copy your clients and let everybody know because it's in writing, it's time-stamped, and it officially puts everyone on notice that work needs to stop. Once that's done, you go through and you do write each individual vendor directly and you say, okay, venue, this is the contract that we have, this is the clause. Please let us know what steps you would like us to take or that you need us to take in order to properly finalize and close this out for you. You do it for each and every vendor because there is a large possibility that the vendor and the partner you've selected is going to want to have a conversation with you about the contract, about the payment, about the clause that is not necessarily something that they should be talking to you about publicly with all the other vendors involved. Once you've done that, you have now done your job, and you really need to now separate yourself as a person and go into the business. As a person, I am devastated for any couple and client that has to cancel their wedding. As a business, I have to make sure that I've protected myself and that I have cleaned up anything that's outstanding and that I have billed them for my services. And so this is where you really need to go through and say, dear clients A and B, I so appreciate the fact that you trusted me, and it has always been my intention to take you through the process in a very respectful, honest, and enjoyable way. While we find ourselves in this difficult position, it is also my job to help end our relationship in an appropriate manner. To that end, our contract states the following. In order to close this out, you are being billed the following. Your invoice is attached. If you have any questions, please know that I remain a resource for you while you move through this difficult time. That's it. You as a business have to get paid. You cannot allow your feelings as a human being, which are going to be real and are going to be strong, to hurt your business. Because you exist to serve your clients. The business exists to serve you. And so it's two very, very different hats. One other thing that I'm going to say, and this can also be really difficult, you need to remain really neutral in this circumstance. And this is especially if the couple is breaking up. If they're canceling their wedding and it's really a postponement, if they're canceling their wedding because of any other reason other than the fact that they've chosen not to be together, that's a business decision. But if you've gotten really close to this couple and now they've decided that they don't want to move forward in life together, there's a very good chance that they each feel really bonded to you, that they each feel like you have a relationship. And it's difficult to stay steadfast and calm and Switzerland when you have somebody who potentially has been cheated on that wants to cry on your shoulder, somebody who has been left and doesn't quite understand why, somebody who broke up but isn't really sure, like, are we doing the right thing? You're going to want to be there for these people who you truly do care about. But you cannot have a place in this very emotional time. You have to Acknowledge the fact that this is difficult. Respect the fact that they've trusted you with really, really strong feelings and emotions and information, but you need to bow out gracefully. And by that, I mean once the contracts are all signed, once the letters of cancellation have all been executed, once the payments and the final financials have been handled, you need to separate yourself from these relationships, and you just need to kind of fade away. Now, if you as a person do feel bonded to somebody, if you want to have a relationship with them, if you want to continue a friendship, or if you think potentially that you may work with them in some other respect in the future, then go ahead and after an appropriate amount of time, I would say 2-3 months, reach out and just say, hey, I'm here. I'm thinking about you. I'm letting you know that I care and that our relationship was more than transactional, because what we do isn't just about the money. It really is an emotional exchange. You may find that this person loves hearing from you and is like, oh my God, I think about you all the time. I'm coming through it. I'm getting out on the other side, but I have to tell you, I would love to see you. I'd love to have lunch. That's great. Now you have a friend, and now you have a transition in your relationship. You may also find that your presence is hurtful and that it reminds them of the thing that they lost, the thing that didn't happen, the mistakes that they made, or the pain that they felt or inflicted. And so this person may not be open to having a future relationship with you, but just the fact that you've reached out and said, I'm thinking about you, is never going to hurt you. I actually think it's a beautiful thing to care about your clients so deeply. Now, on a personal note, sadly, I have had a handful of couples cancel their weddings when they just decide that, they're ending their relationship. It's always really, really sad. It's sad to witness two people who started out so in love decide that they don't want to be together in the future. But the only thing worse than a broken engagement and a canceled wedding is a broken marriage and a divorce, one that could have been avoided by making the hard decision in the beginning. Now, we are not therapists, even though we oftentimes play one during the course of wedding planning, and I don't necessarily think it's our job to tell people like, this is not a good idea, although I have done that as well. But the truth is, your job in the case of a cancellation is to shepherd your clients through the process. You shepherd them through the process by really digging in, understanding, and living by the terms of the contract, because every contract, I promise you, sets the stage for what happens if there has to be a cancellation. You want to protect your clients, you want to protect your partners, and you want to protect yourself, because when the dust settles, and it always does, you need to be standing there as a beacon of light and as a place of clarity and integrity at a time when promises were broken. And you want to be able to say that one way or the other, you helped people celebrate life, luxury, and above all else, love, even in the most difficult times. I hope you do not ever have to deal with this, but if you are around long enough, I promise you, you will. If this has helped you out in any way, please leave a comment below. If you have questions or if there are topics that you would like to see me address, go ahead and leave those in the section as well. I am here for you. This is your channel. It is your community, and I cannot wait to talk to you again next week. Thanks so much.